Huh? Is that the issue?
You tell me, what is the issue?
He's a fag.
If your teen, parents, is a curfew violator, you're subject to a $500 fine each and every time. And if there are crimes under contributing to the delinquency of a minor, you face up to 6 months in prison. And I am not shy about looking for jail time.
You listen to it and I said, man, Future makes the most negative, inspirational music ever.
Can't stand it when I see kids that are making $70 grand a year, spending $28 for
Yeah, I'll speak Spanish, you little fucking little cocksucker. What do you got, you little fucking little cocksucker?
They look at themselves as masters of the universe, and these are usually tech people. This is Larry Page, this is Sergey Brin, this is Mark Zuckerberg.
Where are you at on Sydney Sweeney?
Love her. Jason's gonna say she's overrated.
She's a little overrated.
I know.
I think it accomplished a great deal, but it's not over because there's still nuclear material, enriched uranium that has to be taken out of Iran.
Fuck it though, bro. It's your life.
I doubled the size of it, you dumb person. It's double the size. You are not as smart.
Motherfucker. You piece of garbage.
There were protests planned this week against Netanyahu, where they anticipated tens of thousands of people to take to the streets. That's all gone. Netanyahu now has an emergency government and a mandate to leave.
I think it's time to say the quiet part out loud. The fashion industry is unlikely to book or pay black trans feminine and or physically disabled models to do runway, editorial, and or campaign because of an absence of white males.
How do you envision the highly enriched uranium will be removed from Iran?
You go in and you take it out.
But there are some serious questions here, Patrick. And let me tell you, my pattern recognition over the last 5 years has become pretty sharp. COVID, Maui fires, Epstein. When I see a story and it doesn't click, our guts are usually right.
Where's the line? How many elections are they going to steal before we kill these people?
It's cultural swine, bitch. Now where's the blow?
God damn. Things are looking bright. All right, so nothing special planned today. Just another episode of some shit talking and maybe some cultural news, some pop culture, some would say. Maybe talk a little bit about Euphoria and what Sydney Sweeney's up to. God damn. But now nothing planned, like I said. Welcome in. If you're tuning in for another episode of Cultural Swine, going to be leaving Arizona here pretty soon. Probably within the next week, I'd say. So it's going to be a little bit different up in the good old state of North Dakota. Good old state of North Dakota. Can't beat it. A lot less people, that's for sure. A lot less bullshit, that's for sure. A lot colder, that's for fucking sure. A lot of MAGA. I love the conservatives. I love that population, that demographic of people. I actually agree with them probably on more things than I do on the left, but that's neither here nor there. But fucking MAGA. I hate MAGA now. That MAGA cult is, oh my God, the people that are still ride or die. Trump derangement syndrome was something special to watch and behold, but the MAGA cult is almost just as fucked up as the TDS people. And that's, you can call it TDS, but, a TDS in support of Trump. Who knows? A lot of that's going to be going on. Not a lot of lefty lovers over there in the good old ND up north. But not saying I love those people either. I'm just saying I don't know. I don't know if I'm gonna get up there and it's gonna be like, oh, it's gonna be the Christian Zionist view. It's like, oh, that's our motherfucking ally. Those motherfuckers that we're going to war with took down the motherfucking towers with 20 dudes and some box cutters with no fucking skills at all to even drive a fucking four-wheeler. But somehow they dustified the fucking towers. If a plane was even there, I don't know. And their passports were, yeah, we all know the story. So I think a lot of people might, be in support of our faith, whether they're Christian Zionists or not. They might just, whether they're MAGA or not as well. They might just say, well, this is another war in the Middle East. They fucking took down the towers. We got to support our fucking ally, Netanyahu. And all the other ones that have like infiltrated the U.S. and are like dual citizens and own businesses and like are in the military and high up in the military, high up in government, blah blah blah. So I don't know if I don't know how kindly people would. I think a lot of people would. The younger people, let's say, would take kindly to my dirty kid shirt. That's like a Twin Tower reference, and Bibi Netanyahu and George Bush are playing an arcade game and trying to beat the high score in a game, an arcade game that involves taking down the towers. So I don't know how many boomers in ND. I don't know if many boomers in Tucson, Arizona would really take kindly to it, to be honest. But we'll see. We'll see. I don't know how much people are. I mean, I don't know. I don't know why I'm underestimating like the people getting their information in ND. I just think that they kind of, it's more family oriented. They got their families that they're more focused on, which is way more important. They have, things to do because jobs aren't taken by minorities or AI, not even close to AI over there. But in Tucson, Arizona, you're not getting a landscaping job if you're black or white. That's just the fucking reality. And it doesn't even matter. No one's mad about it. That's just the reality. In Arizona, you're not getting a landscaping job unless you're Mexican. In North Dakota, on the other hand, it's every landscaper is usually white. Just because the black population is kind of slim down there, but that's a huge difference. So landscaping is an open job. So AI is not even close to taking jobs there. We're still, and North Dakota is still not evolving, but taking in what should be recycled from all the progressive things that have happened in the United States. You can say like places like North Dakota and even South Dakota, places like that, the Midwest, kind of take on different progressive things that happen in the culture later than you'd say like California or Oregon or Washington or all your really liberal places, or Florida. And so it's not that North Dakota evolves slower. It's more like we'll act more like the Amish and let the dumbass progressive radicals try all this new shit, and then we'll recycle into our daily lives or our state what's actually productive and worth keeping around culture wise. So, you still see all the bullshit everywhere, the trannies, the fucking bullshit like that because of phones and social media. So you're still going to get people being programmed and mentally unstable regarding the younger kids and the younger generations because of the phones and social media. But a lot less of that bullshit happens, trans athletes, dudes playing in women's sports. That shit's just not going to fly in North Dakota. But it does in all these very radical places. So that's something that just gets weaved out. It's not even going to really, it's not going to really be seen in a place like North Dakota or a state like North Dakota. But like take like Teslas and EVs. You see that already. So like it's almost like the Amish. It's like we'll just recycle what's actually productive and worth keeping. Regarding the economy, culture, you can say entertainment, whatever it is, jobs, demographics, we'll recycle anything and bring to North Dakota that actually is going to be productive and worth keeping. And then just get rid of everything else that you guys tried and are continuing to do. Cutting off dicks and boobs of kids and putting them on, steroids and shit. Same drugs Barry Bonds is like essentially taking, and now he's not even allowed into the Hall of Fame, but they're like, here, you're 7. You can take it. Maybe I don't know. I've lived there before. I've not for that long, so this can be a much longer living situation. Long term, it's going to be. So, I haven't seen any of the bullshit, not at the scale you see it in a place like Arizona, California, Washington, Oregon, all these places I've named, these places where you have very radical leftist progressive demographics, big university bullshit. Like you don't see, there's a university in Bismarck, North Dakota called University of Mary, but it's a Christian private college essentially. And, their commencement, when I went and watched my brother graduate, their commencement speech was given by the owner of Shields, which is like a Dick's Sporting Goods, Bass Pro Shop, together with every other sporting goods store or outdoor store on steroids. It's insane. The founder and CEO of Shields was the one that gave the commencement speech. So those, could have, I don't know what his background is. It could have some scummy things, but it's not someone that's going around to a college or colleges, wherever he's giving commencement speeches, and giving the message that we're just seeing now with every commencement speech at big universities. Like I'm a University of Arizona alumni. We just had Eric Schmidt in Tucson come give the 2026 commencement speech for the graduates. And just like we've seen with all these commencement speeches by these huge CEOs, like Eric Schmidt, ex-CEO of Google, praising AI, essentially telling the kids that like you're going to wake up one day and you're not going to be going to a 9-to-5 or work, or you're not going to be going to school or a 9-to-5 because AI is coming for everything. And they say it with glee. And then they get booed by not only the stadium, which are full of, people that are, from a different time that absolutely, are against this, but not only the state, the parents and the grandparents and the older generations of people in the stands booing people like Eric Schmidt and other commencement speech givers, but also the students are like booing them off stage and just essentially just booing once AI gets brought up until they leave the stage. And that's what happened at U of A's graduation this year with Eric Schmidt. And it's happened with every other D1 college I've seen that has a commencement speaker talking about AI. They get booed by the whole entire fucking crowd, students and family involved. So that's a difference. Like, I don't know. We'll see. Maybe there's no difference. Maybe I'll bring the bullshit there. Jokes. But no, I'm excited. The only thing I'm kind of nervous about going up north to North Dakota in that part of the country is this tick problem. Because there's high grass there. It's a little bit more swampy, humid, rains more. It's more of a, as opposed to Tucson, Arizona, a place like North Dakota in that area of the country are much more are much more, full of ticks, I should say. I don't know how to say it. Just ticks are, that's the only thing I'm scared about at the moment, is not eating fucking red meat again, having to eat a vegan diet, fucking eggs and vegetables like a fucking rabbit, like a fucking fag. Might as well just start eating dick and ass at that point. If you get all, whatever it's called, I forget what it's called. It's like Algera or whatever the fuck it's called, where you can't eat red meat because of a tick bite and Lyme disease. If I get that and I can only eat eggs and vegetables like a fucking goddamn raccoon, I might as well just start eating dick and ass as well, like a fucking dipshit. So that would suck. and just Lyme in general. Lyme disease it causes so many other fucking things that a whole fucking list of shit could happen from Lyme's, but not losing the ability to eat red meat and essentially meat in general. I mean, you might as well just put me on a fucking electric chair. What the fuck would that be? You get to sit there every fucking holiday with your family and they're eating a brisket and you're sitting there eating a fucking carrot. You're sitting there eating a fucking cucumber that after you're finished nibbling on it like a fucking rabbit, you're going to sit on. But yeah, no, that the ticks are much more abundant in that area of the country, so that's gonna suck. Even though I don't know if it really matters where they're so much abundant anymore. I guess it does because I guess they're more efficient or better able to survive in a climate that they are usually in. But now with Bill Gates' fucking dipshit ass, Russian hooker having antibiotic slipping dipshit. Now he's just dumping boxes all over the country, just, wherever he feels, on private farms he's already bought, whatever, farmland owned by the Chinese that Trump probably had a conversation with when he went over there just last week. He's just dumping them fucking everywhere. So I don't know if it really matters about the perfect climate anymore. Yeah, you might be more vulnerable in the climate that ticks are usually in, but now they're just being dropped in boxes by Bill Gates wherever he fucking feels he wants to drop them now. And just like he, went to Africa and tested vaccines with Fauci and was making, whole tribes of people and whole, just native tribes in general, he's making them literally infertile, testing his vaccines, knowing what it was going to do, testing AIDS over there with Fauci, testing all sorts of shit. And so now they're just like, okay, we don't need to test over there anymore. We kind of just do this shit out in the open. Let's just drop the ticks on them that the Nazis created for us and let's see what happens. And people are filming like helicopters over their private land and shit, like their farms. Like, who knows if they're dropping ticks or what they're doing. They might just be doing surveillance, but that's what drones are for. That's what Palantir's for. That's what flock cameras are for. Ring cameras, that's what they're for. So I find it highly unlikely that a helicopter over like someone's private farmland being filmed is just getting surveillance. Even though they're probably also getting surveillance just with one of their more efficient mechanisms that we've accepted for convenience. And not only that, because we thought it was going to make us safe. When in reality, it's just going to make sure, I guess, we're safe from going against the government in a way. But yeah, you see these helicopters being filmed over people's private land, farmland, places where they grow their food, places where they, cultivate water, basically places in farmland where people have been able to create a source of food and water and sustenance for them and their families without having to rely on the government, are now being, not only filmed and surveilled just like everyone else, but also they're having what seems like things being dropped, whether it's ticks or mosquitoes or some other bioweapon on their farmland. It's probably ticks, though. Not only can they cause all these different conditions through Lyme disease, but they also are like, there's these new ones in Russia. I'm pretty sure it's real, that are like way more aggressive, and they are like specifically programmed, let's call it what it is, they're bioweapons to like attack humans. And they're bigger, and I don't know, it's weird. But the ticks, if those are being dropped on people's farmland, well, these are the people that are the most dangerous to the government. I mean, everyone talking out about what's going on in the world, what's wrong with the world, criticizing what should be criticized. Yeah, that's all fun and games. Those people are definitely being surveilled, definitely being watched, definitely not in compliance with what the government wants. But most of us are still reliant on the government regarding food, finances, water, all these different types of shit, medicine. And these people with farmland and their own land and families, not only away from big cities, also have systems where they've been able to create a way of living without any reliance on outside forces like the government. Those are way more dangerous than just people speaking out against the government, criticizing them, because they can just be wiped out in a second with a fucking pager. But the people with the farmland, they're dangerous because they actually don't rely. They don't need the government. So they can, I guess, oppose the agenda and keep the agenda from happening much longer than any other demographic of people can. But this is probably why they're dropping ticks and other shit on their land, and like specifically people with farmland where they've been able to create a way of living without need from the government. And that reason would be to take out their farmland, to take out their crops, to take out their water, to poison everything that they've built to not rely on the government, so that now that's gone. Now what do? Now they're just on poisoned land and toxic land run with ticks and fucking who knows what else. So you take out the people that are self-sufficient families, force them back into the cities and force them to be reliant on the government, then they can much I would say they can be much better at maintaining control and power and controlling what the people do regarding sovereignty when people can't grow their own food. If everyone's reliant, they're only free to a certain extent. If you're self-sufficient with a family, you're free 100%. You can eat, you got energy, you have land, you have ownership, you have property, you have a family, you have a team. That's dangerous. But if you take that away, you can manage the criticism and the outspoken people in many different ways. We all know that. They can silence people with it's a fucking laundry list of mechanisms. The people that are really, really a problem are the people that are self-sufficient, away from big cities, using landlines, have clean water, grow their own food, have families, have have cattle, have all these sorts of things. No 5G towers around them, no data centers around them. Those people are humans. They can't have that anymore in the age of transhumanism. So that's why you see the majority of the people filming these things that are being dropped all over land that's private and privately owned are people that are self-sufficient, and they are the ones that pose the biggest threat to a one world government, or just a government that's trying to garner and gain control of its people and I guess lead them into the AI transhumanist age, or the digital age of surveillance. These people with their own land, they have gold. They have other sources of things they can trade of value. They don't use paper money. They don't use digital money. They still use a digital, or they still use a hard copy of an ID. They don't feel like, getting a travel ID, going digital. These are the people that might have a computer but are using landlines for their phones and their internet rather than 5G and Wi-Fi. That's just the way. That's just the way of living that really pisses people off, like Palantir and, the gay buttfuckers that, love talking about Christianity, but resemble literally the Antichrist, like Peter Thiel, who likes butthole, and Sam Altman, who also likes asshole, but has weird sexual proclivities to his sister, at least early in age, allegedly. Who else? Clavicular's the little butt boy for Peter Thiel. Elon Musk, who knows what that guy likes? All his babies are created in a tube except for one. And I guess another one too, because he got honeypotted by Ashley St. Clair or Ashley St. Lewinsky. But then the other one, X, the one he carries around all the time. Fuck someone to make that one. So I guess he might not like butthole. Maybe he does. I don't know. I know he I know he created a tranny kid, so I mean, had to get it from somewhere. Other than that, I mean, you got the, well, I don't know if he likes asshole, but Larry Ellison, who definitely loves the IDF. So definitely loves assholes, but definitely loves the IDF and our greatest ally. So that's another guy in this group of people that's trying to lead us into this new age that doesn't want you self-sufficient, even though the Zuckerbergs and the Ellisons and the Altmans and the Musk and all these, billionaires have bunkers where they'll be self-sufficient if something happens, a cataclysm, a revolution, who knows? AI fucks everyone up. They have bunkers to go to and be self-sufficient. But you're not allowed to. You're not allowed to because they need your land. Bill Gates needs your land, and he needs to spray it with mosquitoes and ticks. And, while rubbing on Epstein's dick. And that's a haiku for you. Yeah, Bill Gates needs your farmland. Trump needs to sell more farmland to the fucking Chinese. The Chinese need to buy more farmland because, hold on, are they more powerful than us now? They don't own the majority of the debt. I learned, I guess it's the UK the UK is the second most when it comes to the debt owned from the United States. But the number one owner of our debt is Japan, actually. Then it's the UK. But I'm sure China's up there. I think it's actually like 700 million. Still a lot. But who knows? Trump went over there to probably sell more land, to recruit more students for, our colleges to come and spy on us, obviously, because you saw that whole thing in California. That whole city is essentially being run by Chinese spies. One of them literally pled guilty. So they should just hang her, give her the Ned Stark treatment. Even though Ned Stark, was falsely accused, but same treatment. Or, no, I'd give the Chinese spy, the treasonous little fuckers who Trump just loves going through our universities, they should just be treated the same way Theon was treated by Ramsey Bolton. But yeah, that lady pled guilty, but if you look at that whole city's, representatives or the people that were elected in that city, the people that run that city, the people that are in office in that city, the mayor, the governor, and I think there's two other positions that are high up. They're all run by Chinese people. So you think one of them, the mayor, that pled guilty, got caught being a Chinese spy, treasonous little fuck. Well, the whole city is run by Chinese people. So how about we check all of them? But you got to think, how deep does this go? We know how deep Israel's infiltration goes with us. Zogs. We are little fucking goyim zogs. We know how deep that goes. How deep does the Chinese one go? With letting all these students in, remember 800,000? What about that? Remember? 800,000. How many of those are going to be little spies that run, whole cities? Mayors, governors, you name it. Fuck, one of them might end up president. A Jew did. How many Saudis are going to end up spying? How many Jews are going to end up spying? How many? Fuck, who cares? Iranians are going to end up spying. How many Chinese, Japanese, UK, English people are going to fucking end up as spies? When is it going to be that literally the minority group is literally just U.S. Native Americans, citizens of the country? it's gonna turn into the minority being the native U.S. American citizens being run by fucking spies that we loved bringing, through our schools, loved sending money to their country, loved bringing in their religion, you name it, whatever reason it was, we loved bringing them in. Or maybe it's because we owe so much fucking money we have to start doing shit. Maybe it's because our politicians like playing with kid buttholes that we have to do it. I don't know which reason it is. Probably a little bit of both. But yeah, so I mean, I don't know. And then I do know North Dakota, to get back to that Fargo, I think, has one of the biggest nuclear bases. So I know I'm in Tucson at the moment where Raytheon is, and a lot of other sensitive spots. Not only, I mean, militarily, but financially. Arizona in general, we got Sedona, and this goes even into the UAP, UFO, alien bullshit. Arizona is supposed to be a hotspot. Sedona especially. I guess it's a headquarters for the fucking Galactic Federation. This shit's beginning to sound like a fucking cartoon. But yeah, I mean, I'm going somewhere else. Fargo's got a sensitive, it's everywhere you go. There's at least a sensitive spot there. Fargo's got a nuclear base that's huge. Tucson's got Raytheon, who essentially, put their signature on the missiles they made that we just went and decimated countries with. Or, Gaza, who are still, pulling their relatives out of rubble. Where we tried to send to Iran these missiles from Raytheon, but somehow got fucked up. So I don't know. We'll see. But yeah, no, I'm excited to go up north. I guess it might be easier to take the mind off of things, but not really, because no matter where you are, you can always see what fucking psyops are going on and, what bullshit is trying to be pulled on us every single day. So yeah, I don't know. It will be nice though. There's still so much land and farmland that, you can actually, as a young person, buy a house there. At least if you can't buy the house right away, you can at least rent for a reasonable, decent price. That would be the price you would rent in a normal place anywhere, even Arizona, 5, 6, 7 years ago. So you can rent while you take your time to move into buying a house. That's possible. It's very possible to rent. It's very, very, possible to rent. That's all I got to say. Good rent prices, nice place, nice people, lots of land. You're not bumping into people when you're walking on the streets like New York. So you actually say hi to people when you walk by them. You don't fucking put your head down and run because there's so many people you've seen that day that seeing another person makes you want to jump onto the train tracks if you haven't been pushed by a black schizophrenic person already, or just a schizophrenic, say, a minority brought into the country for moral reasons, and you were just on your phone and you got pushed into train tracks. But yeah, lots of affordable rent, and then affordable housing if you want to buy a house. People like starting families up there. That's good for young people too. Also, there's a tremendous amount of farmland and land in general to buy, to build on, to maybe just have as a reserve. So, I mean, I'm going up in what, a week. I wouldn't be surprised if Bill Gates and the Chinese fucking have already invested heavy amounts of very valuable U.S. dollars, very valuable U.S. currency to get that farmland. I mean, it's essentially fucking monopoly. It's not even monopoly money. It's literally those gold chocolate coins at this point is what the U.S. currency is. But yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited to. Sorry, you're not going to have all the. I don't even go out that often, to be honest. But that is a nice city life we have. Or I guess you can say had. We have a lot of shit happening on, all over downtown and on the fun streets of Tucson to go out on. I mean, they're still fun, but it's more likely than not you see something pop off when you go. So I mean, that's I'm not giving up much there. You can still go out and have some brews and do the same shit you do in a place like North Dakota. And the good thing is there's very few spots to do it. So it's always going to be a community. It's going to be nice. Not just a bunch of fucking streamers running around the streets or wannabe streamers with, clavicular like whores running around with them. It's, just people you call decent folk. What Bubbles and Trailer Park Boys would go, decent folk. Rewatching that shit. That shit's Nick Mullen's right. That shit's the funniest fucking TV show to ever be created. But yeah, no. More fishing, more hunting, more time spent on a lake, on a river, outside with people, bonfires, brewskis, reliable, good people, creating families, buying property, still having a sense of American culture. That's what I'm excited for North Dakota. I'll end it there. I do hate MAGA though. I'm gonna really have to hold my tongue when I see a devout MAGA cult member running around, which will be many. All right, Sydney Sweeney though, this is crazy because people are saying this is a humiliation ritual, and it likely is. I would say she's done so many nude scenes that maybe it wasn't, but then she became like that Trump cult-like figure, which Spencer Pratt's doing now, which says like what you would call based things, like Good Genes doing that ad, or saying retarded in interviews, or essentially calling lefties retarded to a lefty journalist face. That one interview when she just looked her dead in the eye with that like resting bitch face stare, which was pretty dope, and kind of just told her to fuck off. You're a retard radical lefty. And the journalist was shook, absolutely shook, because they're not used to being told that. They weren't programmed to hear that. But everyone loved when Sydney Sweeney did that, and everyone loved when she did the Good Genes ad, and everyone loved where she does roles where she says retarded and she says what people think are base things. Same shit happened with Trump. Trump was saying dope shit. And what was it? All just words. Nothing manifested. Just casting fucking pointless spells that never came true. Same thing with what we're seeing with Spencer Pratt right now in California. Sydney Sweeney, same thing. Just these cult-like figures that say things that people want to hear, and then they end up doing some type of humiliation ritual, like Trump going to China or Trump pulling the chair out for Netanyahu. Trump just being dogged and lied to by Netanyahu every which way. Spencer Pratt, his humiliation ritual, I don't know when it's going to come or if it's already happened, whether it was on his reality TV show, which he's turning his campaign into a reality TV show, funny enough. I don't know if it was burning his house down. I don't know what it was. I just saw that. I mean, there'll probably be a scandal about him soon, but he does play ball with Israel, so I don't know. Maybe not. And then Sydney Sweeney's humiliation ritual is, I think, being played out currently, like many people are saying, in this great new season by the oddly pedophilia-like Sam Levinson, writer of the TV show, who is basing the show off of an Israeli miniseries in 2012. Everyone's so hyped about the new Drake album, too. Drake's the fucking, assistant or executive producer on the shit. He's probably got his little Canadian dick, his little needle dick out the whole time Sydney Sweeney's doing OnlyFans scenes. He's chilling with Sam Levinson. So if you're listening to his album and going, this is dope, yeah, I get it. You can listen to many of the songs and they're nice to listen to. But it's Drake, also producer of Euphoria, chilling with Sam Levinson, watching scenes be carried out where people are OnlyFans models like Sydney Sweeney, and they're sitting there behind the cameras, Sam Levinson and Drake, definitely watching, getting their rocks off like a couple of fucking weirdos. Same thing when the tranny gets fucked in the show. Hunter Schafer. Same thing. Those two fucking dipshits are behind the cameras watching, doing God knows what. So, I mean, same thing. I mean, anyone's working on the show, I'm watching it. I know. I'm going to watch it because I'm going to. Sometimes it gets good, and then you go, what the fuck is this show? And then you just got to keep up with it because you got to see what Sam Levinson's up to. Who knows if he's intelligence for you know who, because it rhymes with who. It rhymes with whose. Or if he's just trying to subvert our country like so many other Jewish movies and, you know, Jewish media and entertainment has also done. Who knows? Those are just, you know, those are just theories. I'm going to keep watching. It's just really funny. Yeah. He's so good at rapping. Yeah. He's so good at rapping. I mean, sure. Okay. He dropped 3 albums. Cool. Don't care. What's Made of Honor about? Hunter Schafer? Funny scene though happened where Hunter Schafer, the tranny, the biological male with a dick in the show, pretending to be a female who dates Rue, Zendaya's character, the main character. Hunter Schafer, the tranny, slapped Rue. So Jules is her name in the show, slaps Rue. So the biological male in this argument slaps the biological female in this dyke relationship. And then, you know, that just bad. I don't know how Sam Levinson, or maybe he was trying to do this. Maybe he's actually kind of smart in this aspect, but I don't know what lefty radicals think is good about a scene like that. That want this encouragement and tolerance of these violent, mentally ill people who like to chop their genitals off and call themselves the opposite gender, and also like to like grab like guns and just go and shoot as many people as they can, like the most recent one in San Diego at the mosque. Thank God they didn't pick a fucking children facility. Thank God they didn't pick the most what should I say? Thank God they didn't, for the first time, the tranny shooter did not go to a place that has the most children in it. This time they actually might have chose a respectable place to go to and light up. It's jokes, so shut the fuck up. At least it wasn't kids this time. Thank God they went and tried to do something good. Jokes. I saw that the Jews and all the Jewish synagogues or whatever also like closed down for the day, as if like this was an attack on them. Bunch of fucking pussies, always playing victim. Always playing victim. And it's funny, it's like maybe if you guys were, this is not funny, it's going to be a joke though. Maybe the tranny fucking psychopath wouldn't have killed you if you guys were praying on the streets like you usually do and not in the mosque that we've somehow like built for you. I don't know why. But maybe if you were praying in the streets like you usually do, trying to intimidate, you know, cities, maybe this wouldn't have happened. We gave you mosque, you picked the streets, and then you picked the mosque on the day the psycho went crazy. Chill out. It's all jokes, scripted podcasts. It's all comedy. But obviously, it's a tranny that shot. I mean, that carried this out. Any shooting that has more than 2 deaths is. I don't even know why it's either someone of the demographic Chud's been pissing off, usually shooting their own people, or it's a, you know, what should I say, Middle Eastern minority stabbing people. But if it's more than 2 people being killed with the gun, it's either Chicago, Atlanta, or a tranny that forgot to take their fucking hormones in the morning and woke up and thought they still had the genitals they were talked into cutting off and were pissed off, freaked out, and did what they did. I'm really surprised, like, Ellen Page, formerly known as Elliot Page, hasn't done what Alec Baldwin did on set, primarily because, well, cut her boobs off and turned herself into what she thinks is a boy. I'm really surprised that something like Alec Baldwin, his situation on set, hasn't happened with Ellen Page yet, given the demographic she resides in. But I mean, she would probably have to be doing like a children's film. A lot of children would have to be on set if she carried that out. All jokes, right? But Sydney Sweeney, the humiliation ritual that's happening in Euphoria. But yeah, before I get into that, the scene where Hunter Schafer, the tranny biological male in the show Euphoria, slaps her biologically female girlfriend in the dyke relationship, knocks her down, and this is supposed to be like a good scene, a good look for trannies, especially since radical, or what should I say, not only radical people wrote it, but also intel people wrote it. You really think it's a good scene? It's a good scene, a good good look for the beloved trannies to see the biological male in the relationship slap the biologically female person in the relationship, knocking her down, only showing the truth in the matter of a relationship like this and the true behavior of the people in these relationships. These trannies tend to get violent, especially in relationships with women who, when they are opposed, like to beat the shit out of. So when, you see these dyke relationships, we can call it in quotes dyke relationships, but it's really just a heterosexual relationship with a a mentally ill dude playing a woman that's dating women, and when the biological women, start standing up for themselves or oppose what the male wants, they get a little beat up. We know these people are violent. We see it even when they're not in relationships. We see it when they're not in relationships. So I don't think that scene was really a good look for the beloved trannies. Terrible look, to be honest, because it proved exactly how they act. All Rue said in it was, "Oh, so you're just something about the guy that pays her rent is going to just come over and fuck her." And basically just that. Basically just a normal argument, and the tranny, like they do, got very aggressive and hit the woman. So this is probably their way of covering up how they act when they're, the role of the male. They go, well, if I just say I'm a woman, act like a woman, and maybe get a breast implant, then I can just keep beating and sexually assaulting women and kids. But when people come after me, I'm not a guy anymore, so it's not taboo to the radicals and the people that protect me. I'll just say I'm a fucking girl. Even if I go to prison, I'll say I'm a fucking girl, and they'll put me with the women. But yeah, Sydney Sweeney. Humiliation ritual, Euphoria. I mean, she's doing all the nude scenes. She's the OnlyFans character. But not just the show right now makes me think that this is her humiliation ritual, which I do think it is, but the more the more compelling reason that I think she's going through this ritual is her new relationship with Scooter Braun, who we know I don't know for sure. I think he managed JB and was doing some stuff with him. If he wasn't Diddy fucking him, he was definitely doing some weird grooming stuff with Bieber. I think he did represent Bieber. I think he might have even represented Taylor Swift. Who knows what happened there? I think he also represented Ariana Grande. We see where that skeleton's at in her life right now. Her hair completely burnt off, fake hair implants. Her and Demi Moore look like skeletons. I mean, Scooter Braun represented, I know Ariana Grande, I'm pretty sure. I want to say Taylor Swift, Justin Bieber, and a whole shit ton of people. Now he's dating Sydney Sweeney, who I don't know if he is managing her or representing her, but it'd be a little odd if he was, because now not only are you his fuck toy, but he's managing you, managing probably your money, and telling you what you have to do, not only in your guys' bedroom, but when it comes to work. Scooter Braun's probably a Jew. Let's see. Let's just look up Scooter Braun real quick, who he represents. American businessman and investor. Let's see his net worth real quick. $500 million to over $1 billion. So that's funny. Wonder where it goes. IDF. Let's see. Okay, so Bad Blood by Taylor Swift was supposedly about Scooter Braun. There's a whole TV series called Taylor Swift versus Scooter Braun, Bad Blood. Never saw this. They're both pieces of fucking shit, but Scooter Braun probably, being the piece of shit, turned the other into one. Groomed her right into being a piece of fucking shit. Took a goyim and turned it into a piece of shit. Yeah, Justin Bieber too. So let's see. Who has Scooter Braun managed? Well, look at this. This is amazing. Justin Bieber, Ariana Grande. Oh, yeah, he turned Demi Lovato into a junkie, dyke, radical retard. Carly Rae Jepsen, Kanye West. In 2024, he officially retired from artist management to focus on his executive roles. So Ava Max, Kelly Rowland, Tori Kelly, The Wanted, Kanye West, Black Eyed Peas, PSY, Lil Dicky, YG, Quavo, and the Kid Leroy. YG, Quavo, I thought you guys were hard. I thought YG, you were so fucking hard. I'm a blood. Bro, you're getting your butt fucked by Scooter Braun, bro. YG's over here. I'm a blood. I hang out with Drake. No, dude. I'm a blood. The B stands for butt. He also managed Dan and Shay, Zach Brown Band, J Balvin, and Ozuna. David Guetta, Martin Garrix, Steve Angelo, and Andrew Watt. Funny. Does he manage anyone now? Nope. So he's just dating fucking Sydney Sweeney for the love of the game. That's funny. Let's look him up on X and see what we get, though. X is a lot more fun. Because, even though it's a very Zog site, it's a very Goyim Zogish site and platform, you still get good shit if you go and search it out. So let's go Scooter. Oh, dude, he's got an X account too? Shit, how many fucking... He's got 2.9 mil followers. All right, let's see. What? This is probably AI. I'm not, yeah. So 20, here James Lee talking about it.
Of the decade. Because while fans were waging war over who owned Taylor Swift's music, Scooter Braun, Shamrock Capital, and Taylor Swift herself were all quietly turning public outrage into a billion-dollar business model. Let's go back to the very beginning. In 2019, Scooter Braun, the music executive behind Justin Bieber, Kanye, Ariana, and many others, bought the rights to Taylor Swift's master recordings. Then a year later, Braun flipped the catalog, selling Taylor's masters to a private equity firm called Shamrock Capital for a reported $300 million. Shamrock Capital, by the way, is the private equity firm owned exclusively by Disney. Swift's response: re-record all of her old albums and rebrand them as Taylor's version. She encouraged fans to boycott the old versions and only stream the re-records, framing it as a fight for artist ownership.
The toxic male privilege in our industry is people saying, but he's always been nice to me, when I'm raising valid concerns about artists and their rights to own their music.
George Soros owns your fucking music, you dumb white bitch. Taylor Swift's a fucking retard. Oh, also she loves Blake Lively and her fucking dumbass faggot husband, Ryan Reynolds. But let's continue. This is two fucking retards fighting it out. This is spy versus spy shit. Fucking Taylor Swift going at Scooter Braun. You guys are, Taylor Swift says she's fighting for artist rights and ownership of their own shit. Okay, George Soros can bend you over whenever he wants. You're probably doing, George Soros owns Taylor Swift's catalog. Given that, I don't think it's too far-fetched to say that Taylor Swift and Huma Abedin, Alex Soros' wife, are doing Frazzle Drip together. Just like, what about that Yankees or that New York Mets game against the Yankees where Tom Hanks and Oprah were at, and they put Tom Hanks on the screen and did a Wilson Castaway volleyball tribute. And then the mascot was wearing a Wilson volleyball head. Fucking weird, dude. Weird people.
And it worked. Taylor's version became a rallying cry, a modern-day David versus Goliath story. But then, a few days ago, Taylor Swift penned a letter on her website announcing that she had finally bought back all of her original masters.
The pop superstar has officially taken ownership of the master recordings from her first 6 albums, ending a very long public fight for control of her own music.
Great news, right? The hero wins, the villain...
Okay, so what James Lee is saying here, and this is 2025, is Scooter Braun bought all of Taylor Swift's masters, and that was 2019. And then in 2020, he sells them to Disney-backed Shamrock Capital. And then in 2025, after years of feuding, Braun allegedly helps her buy them back, probably with the help of George Soros. And then, so essentially what James Lee is concluding, which is probably right, is that this was a manufactured drama to make billions of dollars, just like the manufactured drama that her good friend Blake Lively and her husband Ryan Reynolds love doing. And they don't only try to take, they don't only try to make millions and millions of dollars. They try to hurt other people's reputation, increase their social reputation. And in the case of Baldoni, they try to take people's movies from them. Which, the movies suck anyway. Who fucking cares? Okay, here's Ian Carroll last year in 2025 in May. So let's see. He thinks the rumor is that Scooter Braun is still controlling and manipulating Justin. All right, Ian, let's hear what you have to say.
The allegations are sort of that Scooter is still manipulating Justin. Kanye West was managed by Scooter Braun.
And I just want you to understand how much this means. And I go, what is it? And he goes, I think you're the Kanye West of managers. And he goes, that's the biggest compliment. And I knew, because I know him, I was like, damn, thank you.
Unless he's like the best fucking actor ever, and he's like the diabolical super Jew running the world. All of Justin's assets, whether now existing or hereafter acquired, and the proceeds thereof, that is complete control over Justin if Scooter wanted to exercise it. She's written articles like, is Taylor Swift our nicest pop star? Now comes the womanosphere, the anti-feminist media telling women to be thin, fertile, and Republican, because that's bad. Don't be healthy, women. Whatever you do, don't be healthy. That is not at all what Taylor was portraying in the public square when her entire army of Swifties was sicked after Scooter, and all of this bad press just exploded around Scooter. It's pretty clear that there are people that wanted Candace Owens and Ian Carroll to look at Scooter Braun.
Information is.
That wasn't much. I mean, yeah. So if you go to his Wikipedia, go to his early life, you know what you're gonna fucking find, and I don't have to fucking even say. But let's see. So I guess this makes Sydney Sweeney. What does she have to say about Israel? Does she support the Zionism faction? I thought she was all about them good genes in that ad, the blonde hair, blue eyes. Who knows? So I mean, Scooter Braun, I guess, so he does fund the IDF. Good to know. Let's see. So he does, just like Larry Ellison. Here's another one of the big funders of the IDF, and that's Scooter Braun, who runs all. So Larry Ellison runs all of the media essentially now: TikTok, Paramount, Warner Brothers, CBS, you name it. He's coming for everything. And then Larry Ellison, being one of the biggest funders of the IDF, controlling pretty much all of media in the, West, you could say. You also have Scooter Braun, who controls all of the entertainment you see on the media and manages all that entertainment, also being a huge funder of the IDF. So, I mean, their funds are probably just, infinite. So this says, who managed Taylor Swift? ? Scooter Braun. Who are the people who finance Scooter Braun? George Soros and Alex Soros, and of course the Carlyle Group. These are how celebrities are positioned. Obviously, okay. So I'm not seeing it. There's nothing. I mean, he's just dating Sydney Sweeney now. I mean, he's at Stagecoach with Sydney Sweeney. Everyone's taking videos of him during Ella Langley's set. And I'm sorry, I think Ella Langley is a fucking smoke show. Don't get me wrong, but I mean, that's probably not even her real name. The last name being Langley. Ella Langley's probably fucking CIA op. Just like they tell you with all these celebrities' names. I've said it before. And Ellen DeGeneres, Sam Bankman-Fried, the crypto scam. You can Ella Langley, headquarters of the CIA. And there's so many more like names you can think of that like kind of point towards like who those people are. So I mean that's Sydney Sweeney's new fucking mate. And he's her new mate right at the time she's going through like this weird humiliation ritual like character in going through a humiliation ritual, playing this really odd character in Euphoria. And this role that she took on came right when she started, dating Scooter Jewish Braun. Early life, grew up in Queens under a Jewish conservative family. Nice. Couldn't have guessed that one. Vote Thomas Massey if you're gonna vote today in the election in Kentucky. I mean, if you're gonna go out and vote, you're probably a boomer. But if you're not, you're a fucking you're kind of just a goyim retard. But if you're going to vote Massey, but you're still a goyim retard if you go. Have fun though. Have fun being a goyim fucking Zog cattle. That's just all the lines are at fucking voting booths now. It's just Goyim Zog cattle. This is Zoggy. You're being. Instead of saying Zog, just say, yo, you're being fucking Zoggy right now. You're being fucking Zoggy, boy. You're being zoggier than a motherfucker, bro. Quit with the Goyim. Quit with that goy shit. You're being real. It's like quit with that gay shit. You're being real zesty right now, dog. Quit with that goy shit. You're being real zoggy right now, dog. Mm-hmm. Hey, I'm not even getting into her. She's a retard. It's early in the morning. I don't know if anything's. Oh, actually, no. I saw something pretty interesting up in the sky last night when I was chilling in the hot tub. Because whenever you see something in the sky, whether it's a rocket or the way the stars look or whatever is going on with space, I just think of Jack Parsons, Aleister Crowley, and the JPL and all the like sex magic rituals that they carry out when doing anything space related. And it's like really important when anything space related is going on that sex magic also is happening. And Aleister Crowley was a huge, maybe the main proponent of this. Maybe not. I think it's been going on for as long as the occult has had their hands in any sort of power. But I think especially the space shit, the rocket ship, the rocket ships going up to space, they look like dicks. They're like landing on a moon, which looks like an egg that kind of resembles like impregnating like the sky. Jay Dyer talks a lot about how this sex magic is portrayed all over anything related to space, whether it's JPL, NASA, or SpaceX, or Blue Origin. They all look like dicks, the rocket ships. You shoot them into space, they land on something like the moon or a big spherical planet that looks like an egg. It looks like, it literally looks like you're impregnating or, inseminating, essentially impregnating impregnating space in the solar system. And whether that's for, domination of the solar system or whatever manifestations that's supposed to create, I have no clue. But it is pretty weird that like all the spaceships look like dicks. That's all. And it's weird that when going to the moon, which really resembles like an egg when you think about it, it's just very weird. And we do know the Crowleys and the Jack Parsons and the people that operate within the JPL, NASA, all these space programs and entities are all, not all, but many of them are very involved and very dedicated to the occult and the rituals performed, especially the sex magic rituals. They don't only do like sacrificial bullshit, sacrificing kids and those types of pagan Mayan sun god rituals, which happen as well, but they also do sex magic rituals. And you can say sending rocket ships up into wherever the fuck they say they're sending them is one of them. And if you read Crowley's work or look into him or learn anything about him and his protege Jack Parsons, and who was a expert in jet propulsion, you wouldn't think it's so far-fetched that maybe those rituals made their way into the Jet Propulsion Laboratory or NASA or any of these space programs. But the thing that I saw last night in my when I was chilling in the hot tub looking up at the sky, the first moon, which I should say like the first crescent that we could see of this new moon, was right there, beautiful. And then right next to it was a star or some type of planet. I don't know, but it looked like two balls. like the moon being the bigger one, I guess whatever one hangs lower, you could call that one the moon, and the star, planet, whatever it was next to it was the other testicle. Because right above it, there was a pinnacle, or what appeared to be a pinnacle of a triangle of the three, which was either another star or maybe also a planet. I have no clue. So there was 2 stars or 2 planets, maybe 1 planet and 1 star. I have no clue. Didn't look into that. But one of the stars was located right next to the moon, and then creating a triangle, there was a 3rd star at the pinnacle of this triangle, creating what looked like a dick in the sky with the 3 bodies. And I thought to myself, it's a really weird day with everything happening in the news. Not that it's not any weirder than it usually is, but still shit happened. You had the shooting. That's like a blood ritual. That could be a blood sacrifice carried out by who knows who. I mean, and you had that weird McDonald's commercial come out where the shoes aren't red anymore, which is like changing from the red shoe club to, his shoes were turquoise or blue or green, which is weird. Who knows if that was it could have been an activation, that new McDonald's commercial. So that was very, very odd to see. And then you saw the shooting happen, which could have been carried out, we know, by trannies and mentally ill, psychologically fucked up people. But who knows if they're victims of MK Ultra, Monarch, Ramcoa programming. Very, very likely. These fucking 2 dipshits. I know we have evidence of them in high school. We know who they are, but it could have just as easily or just as likely been someone that's been missing, a kid, teenager or 2 that went missing years ago, ended up at somewhere, like Fort Bragg, got their programming, and then somehow mysteriously returned years later. And once they were activated to do what they needed to do, whether it's through a code word or a certain day, I have no clue, they carried it out. This happens all the time. People go missing when they're young teenagers. No one knows where they are, and somehow they just reappear out of the blue back into society, only to carry out some type of terror attack, mass shooting, whatever. This happened with the dipshit that went to the narrative was that he was going to kill the NFL president or whatever executive in that building that was also sharing the building with Blackstone in New York. They said it was a kid with CTE going to kill an NFL executive because he blamed her for his CTE, but he didn't even shoot up the right floor. He went to the 33rd floor of this building, which BlackRock also has an office in, or not BlackRock, Blackstone has an office in, which is heavily involved in real estate. And their CEO, or their ex-CEO, which was, no, not Klaus Schwab, you retard. A retard. The BlackRock CEO was the former CEO of Blackstone. So, I'm a fucking retard, though. Why don't I? Google's listening to me. Instead of BlackRock, Blackstone came up first, which is odd. Larry Fink, I got that before I even had to look it up, but Blackstone is essentially like almost the same entity. And Larry Fink was CEO of Blackstone before he was made the CEO of BlackRock. Blackstone is the world's largest alternative asset manager. Massive global investment firm headquartered in New York City with over $1.3 trillion in assets. So that's where that kid shot up, and he, was supposed the story was he had CTE and blamed an NFL executive who was working out of a office for the NFL in that building. He blamed her for his CTE and went to shoot her but instead went to the wrong floor, the floor being the 33rd floor, and shot up Blackstone's office, I believe. Just saying. But yeah, that kid was missing years before. And then he just pops out of the blue with, and does this. Where was the kid? Fort Bragg? Where was he? I mean, was he at a deep underground military base getting training? Was he at Fort Bragg? Was he at Langley? Was he, I don't know. Was he at Michael Aquino's house? was he a former Presidio student? Was he, I don't know. What was he doing? Where was he? But yeah, things like that happen all the time. And just like the shooters in San Diego yesterday, to get back to the story, the dick in the sky I saw with the 2 stars and the moon, yesterday had some weird shit. You had the Ronald McDonald fucking McDonald's commercial that was very odd things if you know what to look for and you understand what that kind of was implying. And then you also had the shooting, which if there's a ritual going on and an activation that could have happened to carry out the ritual, things get weird. Because I was thinking, okay, that thing looks like a dick. But then I started thinking to myself, I was like, fuck. Some weird shit did happen today. And when you look at space and rituals are happening, it involves weird phallic figures or sex magic. And I saw this. And maybe I'm just doing some fucking weird gay shit when I look at when I was looking at these 2 stars in the moon that formed a dick. But pause. But I don't think so. Maybe not. I think I'm going schizo. Who cares? We'll get gay for a second. There was clearly something that looked like a dick in the sky that resembled it. You could just think it, whether or not you could say triangle, or you could say, well, kind of. There's no side, so we're calling it a dick because weird shit happened yesterday, and maybe a ritual happened. So I got to thinking. I was like, okay, you had that weird McDonald's commercial, which a lot of people are saying, and I think it's likely was some type of activation video. Activating who? I don't know. But then you have this shooting at the mosque in San Diego carried out by, everyone knows, a tranny and someone else. It might have been 2 trannies. I know at least one. These are the most easily suggestible people to put through Monarch and MK Ultra programs. So could it be possible that maybe the activation happened through the McDonald's new commercial, activating these 2 dipshit Monarch victims to carry out the attack at the mosque, killing, I don't know, it was over 2 to 3 people. I think it was over 5 people, 5 or more people. And was that killing a blood ritual for some kind? And then I was like, well, is it really like an important date? And I go, May 18th was yesterday, 2026. And I was like, well, let's see if there's any numerology. And I go, May 18th, 2026. So 05/18/2026. 5, so 0 plus 5 is 5, plus 18 is 23, plus 2 is 25, plus 0 is 0, plus another 2 is 27, plus 6 equals 33. And I go, oh my fucking God, I was like, they're fucking with me, or I'm going fucking crazy. So I look up at the sky and I see 2 stars in the moon making up a phallic-like, resembling a fucking dick in a way. And I was like, ew, that's weird. Space resembling a dick. Is there a ritual going on tonight? Is there a Crowley ritual going on? And then I remembered you had a weird activation like, let's say, a weird activation like commercial from McDonald's air. And then you had a shooting at a mosque leading to 5 or more deaths carried out by a easily programmable person that could have been a blood ritual sacrifice given the circumstances if you're schizo. And what was that sacrifice for? On the date of May 19th or May 18th, 2026, which if you look at gematria or numerology adds up to 33. So I don't know what the fuck happened last night. Something weird. And it was on the day of it was the first day of the new moon as well. So I have no clue. Weird shit. All right. Kevin O'Leary is a faggot. Kevin O'Leary, I know this is going to be in the intro, but everyone's talking about it. It's so funny because I'm not going to play because it's in the intro, but he says that people these days, or the new generations of people these days, can't afford anything, even with a $70,000 salary, because they spend money, as much as $28 on lunches. On the Diary of a CEO podcast, Shark Tank star O'Leary said skipping one $28 lunch a week and investing it at 8% could grow to nearly $800,000 over 50 years. What a fucking lizard piece of shit, dude. Give me your money so I can keep making data centers and building data centers with your money, and we'll grow it. And in 50 years from now, when we told you you'll have 800,000, actually we'll have stolen all of that too, and there's nothing you can do about it. No different than Social Security bullshit. No different than IRAs. No different than anything. Banks, essentially. And mind you, dude, this guy Kevin O'Leary, who's building in I forget where he's building it. Is it Utah? I forget where he's building. He's building a data center the size of Manhattan. It's going to totally ruin people's lives that live near where he's building it. He's going to displace people. The people that remain there near it or move near it are going to be riddled with neurological and psychological conditions, chronic ones, rivaling things like Havana syndrome and the like. Not only that, he's going to be, creating mass sleep deprivation, leading to even more chronic illnesses among the people living near this Manhattan-sized data center. Not only that, he's going to be fueling this data center with mineralized drinking water that is going to be now increased in price for the actual humans that live in the area of this data center. Not only that, this data center is going to surveil not only the people in the near vicinity of the data center, but it's going to be used to surveil as many people as closely as possible as well, along with all the other ones being built. And he's going to tell you this is going to bring jobs. This is going to bring money to the area. This is going to be good for the economy locally. In reality, he's going to kill many of the people there, fuck up the young people living there, neurologically, psychologically, in chronic ways, take their drinking water as well, increase the price for them to get the drinking water, or increase their bill for water. And he's going to mask the goal of this data center as something that's going to enrich their lives, while the only purpose of this will be to surveil and destroy their lives. This guy is also the one telling people that make $70,000 a year that they are financially cooked, to use a faggot word. That's just the quote or tweet. He says, this is the same guy with the data center that's the size of Manhattan. He says Gen Z is fucked financially because people making $70,000 a year are spending $28 on lunch. That's the guy who said it. This guy also covered up a murder, whether it was him or his wife driving the boat, and got away with it. They, just stargazing and drinking wine and, popping, school bus Zanny bars, with their elitist friends on a boat, having a grand old jolly time. Well, that night, whether it was him driving or his dumb bitch wife driving the boat, I don't know. They crashed the boat into another boat and killed someone. And the cops, came, the whole investigation, nothing happened to either of them. Scot-free. I just had to go and turn a fucking petition in to seal court records for a DUI I had 6 years ago. That I had to go through years of probation. That I had to go through years of paying bullshit. Years of just, a lot of stress and a lot of shit. And, I deserved it. I did. But this guy killed someone on a boat with his wife while they're drinking, doing God knows what, probably turning a kid to jerky, or doing some weird shit, sacrificing something to Moloch. Who knows what they were doing on the boat? But they crashed into someone else, killed someone. Investigation happens, nothing happens to them. Really weird. Really weird. Maybe they sacrificed. Maybe that was the whole sacrifice. The person they fucking rammed the boat into. Who knows? Scot-free, though. No one's in trouble. That's the guy that's telling you you can make $70K a year, and if you spend it $28, if you spend $28 on lunch, and you're fucked financially. It's the same guy that's also building the data center that's the size of Manhattan that's going to totally and utterly fucking ruin people's lives for generations. And so I guess we should definitely listen to him. He also just recently had a dinner with that fucking also victim of Project Monarch and MK Ultra, Courtney Love. Wonder what that was about. So Kevin O'Leary is a bald piece of shit. Kevin O'Leary can go fuck himself. Altman, go fuck yourself and try not fucking your sister, Sam Altman, you fucking dumbass. Kevin O'Leary, go fuck yourself and keep your boats out of other people's fucking boats. Elon Musk, go fuck yourself. Go fuck yourself and start boofing your ketamine instead of fucking snorting it. You looked fucked up. Who else? Larry Ellison, go fuck yourself. Go fuck yourself IDF style. Did I miss Mark Zuckerberg? Go fuck yourself. Go fuck yourself in your Hawaii compound bunker where you stole natives' land to build it. All these people are Scooter Braun, go fuck yourself. Sydney Sweeney, go fuck yourself, which you definitely are on the new season of Euphoria, funny enough. All these people need, this is I mean, hopefully Massey gets in, but, whether or not he does, I don't know if it changes much. But, peace.
Life's barely long enough to get good at one thing.
You're fat long.
Yeah, so be careful what you get good at.
Okay, I want to talk about Ireland. Specifically, I want to talk about the famine, about the fact that there never really was one. There was no famine. The Irish people were only allowed to eat potatoes. All of the other food, meat, fish, vegetables, were shipped out of the country under armed guard to England while the Irish people starved. And then, in the middle of all this, they gave us money not to teach our children Irish. And so we lost our history. And this is what I think is still hurting we. You see, we're like a child that's been battered, has to drive itself out of its head because it's frightened, still feels all the painful feelings. But they lose contact with the memory. And this leads to massive self-destruction, alcoholism, drug addiction, all desperate attempts at running. And in its worst form becomes actual killing. And if there ever is gonna be healing, there has to be remembering and then grieving so that there then can be forgiving. There has to be knowledge and understanding. An American Army regulation says you mustn't kill more than 10% of a nation because to do so causes permanent psychological damage. It's not permanent, but they didn't know that. Anyway, during the supposed famine, we lost a lot more than 10% of our nation through deaths on land or on ships of emigration. But what finally broke us is not starvation, no, it's use in the controlling of our education. Schools go on about Black 47, on and on about the terrible famine. But what they don't say is in truth, there really never was one. So let's take a look, shall we? the highest statistics of child abuse in the EEC, and we say we're a Christian country, but we've lost contact with our history. See, we used to worship God as a mother. We're suffering from post-traumatic stress disorder. Look at all our old men in the pubs. Look at all our young people on drugs. We used to worship God as a mother. Now look at what we're doing to each other. We've even made killers of ourselves, the most childlike, trusting people in the universe. And this is what's wrong with us. Our history books, the parent figures lied to us. I see the Irish as a race like a child that got itself bashed in the face. And if there ever is going to be healing, there has to be remembering and then grieving so that there then can be forgiving. There has to be knowledge and understanding.